Welcome to Second Take, a spoilerific quickcast that pits our editors here on theviewing-screen.com with or against each other to tackle just one specific movie. Sometimes they agree, oftentimes they don't, thus delving into the intricate thought processes that plague the cinephiles and cinephiliacs that comprise the Viewing Screen staff of editors. Second Take embraces the spirit of film discussion and celebrates the views and opinions of all fans of cinema, especially if they agree with mine, Doofus Paul. So kick off your boots and relax, grab some corn and turn down the lights. TheViewingScreen.com proudly presents Second Take.
Greetings viewers and welcome to the second episode of Second Take, a quick cast pod dedicated to the spirited discussion of film. For this sophomore episode, I am joined again by my heterosexual partner and Viewing Screen co-founder, Justin Munson.
Hello.
Hi there, Justin.
Hello.
Well, the movie we have decided to second take tonight is one I have been patiently waiting to discuss with you, the Total Recall remake. Man, right off the bat, if any listeners out there have never seen the original Total Recall, then you're probably listening to the wrong podcast because it's Total Recall. Arnie.
Yeah, I think you missed the site in general at that point.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the original movie had a great cast, a great story. It is a high bar for the genre in the 90s.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and anybody who, if you're still listening and haven't seen it and only saw the remake, which, God have mercy on your soul, Arnie learns that he is not who he thought he was.
Or is he?
And maybe. And he gets involved in an underground revolution, spy politics, deception, aliens. It's got it all.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. There's only a few movies I think that I've even seen more than Total Recall, like Die Hard, Big Lebowski, staples like that.
Yeah, no, I've seen Total Recall a whole bunch of times too, and I watched it again before I watched the remake. But then I recently watched the remake again.
Oh, why?
I tell you, it was better the second time.
Oh, that's probably because you were, at that point, like the blow had been softened from the first viewing.
Yeah.
So we both agree that the original Total Recall with Arnie is an amazing classic action flick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then why would they remake it?
I'm telling you, I don't know that the movie should have been called Total Recall. That's my whole thing. The new movie should have just been called Recall. Don't make it the same name. It's just the same technology in the background, and then the whole movie would have been better. But the fact that they tried to remake it and they put all the BS nods to the old movie in there, with so much other stuff changed, it just made me mad the whole time I watched it.
That was one of the things, man, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the thing that bothered me the most in this movie was, spoilers, was that in this remake there's no Mars, there's no mutants.
No.
So why have the three-breasted woman in there?
I don't know.
Because it made no sense aside from being, like you just said, a callback to the original.
Well, and then, like when he goes to the X-ray area thing, and they show the big chick in the yellow trench coat, and she's like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, at first I'm like, no way they used the same costume. And then they pan right by her, and I'm like, just why? Why? Don't even put that there.
Yeah, it's such a blatant little, I don't even know what to call it, It's like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, we put that in there for you guys that like the original.
But it was exactly the same. It wasn't even like a nod. I mean, it was...
Yeah, you're right.
If it was just a bigger girl in a yellow jacket, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, then maybe, but it was the exact same thing, and they came right to it like they were going to, like it was the main character, and then just went, I was like, you stupid sons of...
Well, and this movie also, the remake just seemed like it was just borrowed props and concepts from other movies, like The Fifth Element, Minority Report, iRobot, Galaxy Quest, even the Goonies, dude, because the key, how he had to play the piano.
Oh, yeah.
In that, I was like, what? That was in the Goonies. And even in the Resident Evil game had that, too.
Yeah.
It was so hokey to me, man.
I just think that they could have just, They literally could have just called it Recall and did the exact same thing, took out the nods here and there, and it would have been halfway decent. The second time I watched it, the first time I was just angry. The second time I watched it, I'm like, all right, let's just take this for what it is. And the chick fights were all right, and, I'm not going to complain about the girls in the movie.
Like Kate. I know you like Kate Beckinsale a lot.
And I do, and Jessica. So, and Bokeem Woodbine, the black guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
And see, that's part of what lured me into even being interested, because when I first heard about it, I'm like, give me a break. But then I see they have, like, Bryan Cranston, Bill Nye.
Yeah.
And I like Colin Farrell. I know he seems to be one of those actors that people either love or hate.
In each role that he has, I either love or hate. The first time I saw it, I hated it. The second time I saw it, I was like, all right, I'll get it.
He's okay.
And the tech was kind of cool, and, that was all fine. But, on both of them, I have a hard time with the Total Recall part where it's like, as soon as he starts to go under, then it goes south.
Yeah.
Where they force this, is it a dream? Isn't it a dream? Is it real? Isn't it real? And it's like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
Quit trying to confuse me.
Yeah, and just tell me a story.
And tell the story.
Yeah. Speaking of which, on that scene, that was a pretty big deal in the remake when he went under because of the action sequence that followed.
Yeah.
And the way the camera work was done, I don't know. I didn't really like the whole circular, almost bullet time kind of thing.
Yeah, it was fast.
That they did.
It was too fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get creative. When you get somebody that thinks it's okay to put nods from an old movie in here and change everything else, and then you're like, okay, well, let's try to do this. You can just tell it was a crock pot of bad ideas all over the place.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But I've seen worse movies recently, so.
Well, and it's like the fast action thing. How about you just have a guy like kicking ass? Because that's what you saw with Arnie. They did do quick cuts. I mean, that's obviously a part of action. But I mean, you got to see Arnie, just kicking ass.
Yeah.
It just feels a lot more old school. I guess it's because they didn't have the technology as much to rely on, or they weren't at this point they are now with the way that they do editing and stuff.
That's part of the downfall too, is that they try to do the bullet time to make it all cool instead of pulling a marble out of your nose. I mean, that was intense.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was more emotionally invested in Arnold's character when it went south than I was in Colin's.
Yeah. Because
the story had already been told, and it's like, okay, but the story was nothing like the original. Like you said, no Mars, and I couldn't even understand why the two sides were fighting.
Well, that's the whole thing, dude, is it was just like basically a big property dispute. He wanted their land. That was it.
But he has them working for him anyway, so wouldn't you want him on the other side?
Good point.
I mean, why are you trying to take over the slave area? You know what I mean? If you're going to bring them back and push them back over there, you still need them to work. Although he was trying to do the whole robot thing, take over, like the iRobot. Yeah, it was just...
like iRobot, exactly. It was just for lack of a better word, man, it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah. And, in both the movies where the love interest gets all mad because the other person was, married to some fake person or real person, it's like... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I really didn't like how they just basically combined Kate Beckinsale. Her character was a combination of Sharon Stone and Michael Ironside.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a little hardcore. But I did like watching it, so.
Yeah, and like you said, I did like the tech stuff in it, like the collar holograph face and the phones in the palm.
The phones in the palm, yeah, and then he puts his hand on the glass and he can see it. Where he puts his hand on the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's pretty sweet.
I could actually see them doing something like that with a glove.
It's not that far off.
Yeah.
The Google Glass that they got going, I mean.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah, and speaking of which, to get off topic, I read that somebody's already filming like a documentary using those in New York or something like that.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
As long as they don't go to recall, they'll be all right.
So in the end...
No, but I mean...
No, go ahead.
In the end, it was a stupid movie. It didn't really need to be done. I think they could have just made a little bit of... They could have made it their own.
Yeah.
Instead of... Well, they did make it their own. I'm sure they'd argue that, but... I watched this second time. It wasn't as bad as the first time, but definitely don't watch the old one and then watch this one, because that ain't going to do you any good.
Yeah, and besides that, it's PG-13, whereas the originals are.
But, you know, I can see how when you get some kids or some younger of the generation out there that may haven't seen Total Recall, or they saw it, you know, when they were younger, that they will like this more because of the cool tech, because of the bullet time, because they're used to seeing everything that way. I just don't think that a story needs to be told that way just to appease everybody.
Right. And for that, I blame the parents. It's the parents' job to tell them, to show them the original Total Recall. Just with music, man, it's the previous generation's responsibility to pass on the good stuff so they can have an appreciation of where we are now as well from where we came from.
Yeah, I agree.
So we both agree that the remake was not a good idea, just a bad movie.
It's crap.
Watch the original.
Yeah.
That's what we bring to you on this one.
Or watch the new one, just knowing that you're going to watch prettier girls fight.
I don't know, man. Sharon Stone versus Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. But
yeah,
these outfits. You know, I just remembered though, the one bad thing that I did, the one thing I totally hated about Total Recall is those fucking cubes. The elevator things.
Yeah.
That whole scene was long, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, and the cars were like out of Minority Report.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's all just a big hack job, man. Len Weissman is a hack director.
Sorry, Len.
But he knows how to direct his wife. He's married to Kate, so he does the Underworld movies too, right?
Yes, he does. This is the first one him and Kate have done that wasn't Underworld related.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hope they don't do any more. Just stick to Underworld, I guess.
Yeah. I don't mind watching those movies. They're bad too, though.
All right. See, I've never seen them.
Oh yeah, I'll give you my box set.
Oh no! I mean, yeah, I saw them.
All right, folks.
So that's gonna do it for the end of our second take.
Excellent.
All right. Thanks for listening, and be sure to stay tuned to theviewing.screen.com for more podcasts like this.
Definitely leave a comment. Tell us what movie you want us to talk about.
Yes, because we will. In fact, you can email us at secondtake@theviewing.screen.com.
Can you?
Yeah, why not?
Sweet.
Okay, man. Well, I'll talk to you later, Justin.
Later.
Bye, folks.